Hello and welcome to another episode of It's the Vibe podcast. I'm your host, Megan, and today we are diving deep into a topic that affects us all at some point in our lives, and that is the fear of judgment from others. Now, you're going to want to buckle up for this one because she's going to be a goodie. She might be a shorty, but she's going to be a goodie. We'll see how long I can crap on for. Challenge accepted. Jokes. It's going to be impactful. So by the end of this episode, I want you to be so in love with your awesome self that you couldn't give two fucks who said what about you, about anything that you're doing in your life, and that you feel very brave and empowered to go and absolutely go out there and do whatever the hell you want to do moving forward. Not caring about what other people think, what other people say, or what other people are doing. You're focusing on your own lane, you're doing your own thing, and you're living your best life, okay? That's my intention for you after the end of this episode, or at least to make a bit of a start of doing that, right? It's a lot to expect in however many minutes this episode's going to go for. So before we get started, let's acknowledge that feeling judged is a universal experience. Okay, so whether it's in your personal life or your professional life, the fear of what others might think can hold us back from fully expressing who we are. Okay, we're going to break free from that today. We're not going to worry about that anymore. So to overcome the fear of judgment, it's essential to understand where it actually comes from. So we're going to not dive deep into this part, but we're going to go into a little bit about the psychology behind judgment and how often it reflects the insecurities and fears of the person doing the judging rather than anything about you. Okay, so remember, it's absolutely nothing about you, it's everything about what you're thinking. All right, now our brains are amazing about coming up with scenarios that will never happen. We are so good at spiraling down to the point of creating the worst case scenario ever, and it never happens, okay? Our subconscious is amazing at creating the most terrifying scenarios based off of something that happened to us as kids, okay? Or some traumatic past experience, and bringing that into the future. Okay, so if you think of like why you may not be super comfortable in stepping up and being 1,000% yourself, okay, maybe you hide a part of your quirkiness away, or you don't say what you really think. This comes so much from our childhood. And as I said, we bring it with us through to adulthood, which is not ideal when we're trying to be completely ourselves and embrace life to the fullest. So some of these reasons: kids teased you, your parents told you to be quiet, you saw others getting bullied for being different, you were rewarded for being the quote unquote good girl or the good boy, you didn't fit in high school, you judged yourself for your appearance, your hair, your nose, your freckles, your whatever. And I swear to God, the thing that probably made us the most fearful of judgment of anything in our whole life, so those bloody presentations that you had to do in high school, you know, those ones where like I remember them so vividly, like it was like I would remember sitting there and thinking about it for days and days and days and days before it was even coming up. And I would just hate everything about those moments. And because, you know, you had your friends sitting there that were trying to put you off, and you had the cool kids in the class sitting back being like, I couldn't give a shit about what she says. You know what I mean? Like it was just the fucking worst. So we push all of those down and we carry them with us as we go through life. And anytime you come into any kind of situation or scenario in your adult life that, you know, is similar to those experiences as a kid. So public speaking, going against something someone else says, disagreeing with the majority, etc. You know, that kind of stuff. Now, I actually saw recently that public speaking, like people are it's like one of the most feared things. And I was like, holy shit, like that's pretty brutal. Like public speaking in the terms of like, I don't know what you like call public, but 4 or more people was the definition of what I looked up. 4 people sitting in front of you, you're terrified to talk in front of. Like, how insane is that? Insane. So what's the cost of not being fully ourselves and loving ourselves for who we are? Well, what we do is we limit our connection to ourselves and to others. So we don't really fully know ourselves until we embrace every part of ourselves. Okay, so there are parts of myself that I pushed down for years because I was, you know, the silly one, the quirky one, the different one, the whatever one. And now I will do everything in my power to embrace that part of myself and not worry so much about fitting in, because you will find your squad with these moments in your life, right? If you are 1,000% yourself, you put yourself out there, you do all of those things, you're going to connect with the right people, as opposed to putting on a facade or, shoving down those parts of yourself that you don't want to come out. And by doing that, obviously, yes, we limit the connection to ourselves and to others. And you're never going to reach your full potential. And what I mean by that is you're never going to go out and do all of the things that you want to do, because you've either created these characters or versions of yourself that you are in front of other people, or you have some brilliance inside of you that you're just not willing to let out or to embrace, or to, be different from, I guess, what everybody else is doing. So that's not fun. You're going to be watching your life like you're on the sidelines. So we all have those people who we look up to, who we admire for, doing different, I guess, out there or courageous things. You're very unlikely to step into going to want to do those things if you're not embracing your fully self, loving yourself fully, and stepping out as the most confident version of yourself. Okay. And most of all, overcoming the fear of judgment. Like, you want to go out and do something completely random with your life, who cares? Go bloody do it. If you want to go out there and do something that's really terrifying, but you're like, can't stop thinking about it, you're more excited than ever, you got to just go do it. So these constant battling thoughts in your mind are going to leave you beyond exhausted. It's going to be so freaking exhausting, right? Because you're going to have this constant pull push in your mind. You're going to have that, I want to go do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. And in the other hand, it's like, oh no, that's not safe. Oh no, we can't do that. Oh no, just, sit up and, sit down and shush, whatever I was going out there, right? So it's like almost like the angel and the devil on your shoulder, and it's really, really conflicting energy. So it's like, hell yeah, like, let's go out and be the person. And then the devil on your shoulder is just like, fuck no, like, we're staying safe, we're going to be over here. And then you look at other people, as I said. So you imagine you're a super shy, introverted person, right? And you're at a party, for example. You see there is someone that walks in the room and they literally just light up the room as they walk in, and you watch people flock to them. So it's like they're, hugging everyone, hello, they know everybody in the party, they're doing all the things, they're laughing, they're having the best time. And you look at them and you're like, fuck, I wish I could be like that. I wish I could do that. I wish that I had that kind of personality. It's very likely that you do, because people are just mirrors for ourselves, basically, and what we love and don't love so much about ourselves. And if that's something that you want to achieve, then use that person as what I call an expander, and start to step in and embody the types of characteristics of that person that has all of the friends, that is the life of the party, that lights up a room when they walk in, who's that big personality. Okay. And once you do that, once you start embodying those characteristics of that person, naturally your reality is going to play out in the same way. So you're going to start, after you start practicing, obviously, getting more comfortable in being and walking into, rooms of people where you're like, okay, cool, I'm just going to go say hi to maybe just 10 people. Or maybe I'm going to go walk up to somebody and start a conversation. I can't tell you the amount of people that I have literally met. And you know what? I will say that women who are, 3 or 4 vodka lemon sodas down, having bathroom chats, are the best fucking friends and hype women you ever meet in your life. Okay. So going up and starting conversations with new people actually gets to be so much fun. And, I'm not condoning or saying like, go and have a few glasses of vodka before you go and do this. What I am saying is that it's not as scary as you think. You could walk up to somebody, you have no idea who the fuck they are, and maybe you like their shirt or their shoes, or maybe like whatever. Like, there's literally a billion different things that you could say. And genuinely mean it, by the way. Don't just like try and be fake and go and be like, oh my God, oh my God, no, what is this, Mean Girls? She's like, oh my God, I love your skirt. Where did you get it? Right? As the ugliest fucking skirt I've ever seen. That's not what we're doing here. We're talking about genuine, authentic connections. Okay. And then, they're probably going to go back and say, oh, thank you so much, I got it from here. And then the conversation is going to kick off from there. You don't have to walk up to a whole group of people and be like, sup guys, my name's Megs, I'm awesome, love me, right? That's not what I'm talking about here. It's really those authentic connections that we love and that we crave as humans. We're bloody pack animals. Okay. So find your pack and find them through being yourself. Anyway, we're going to move on because I've gone on a complete tangent. Anyway, so we're talking about overcoming the fear of being judged. And it's a gradual process, and it is a process that involves self-reflection, mindset shifts, and intentional actions. So you would have got that from my example previously, but I'm going to go and dive nice and deep into specific ways that you can work towards overcoming this fear. Number 1, self-acceptance. You need to understand that nobody is perfect and everyone has flaws. Even the cool kids in high school, the ones with the perfect skin, the perfect hair, the perfect whatever, okay, she has flaws too. So embracing your imperfections and acknowledging that they contribute to your uniqueness gets to be so much fun. And practice self-compassion and treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend. Like, you would never say the mean things you say to yourself to your best friend. And I've said this probably on every podcast episode I've ever put out there. If you treated yourself like you treated people in your life, my goodness, you would be so much nicer to yourself. And you really need to learn to lighten up and have fun with yourself again and just be silly and invite more play into your life. So I used to be so terrified of embarrassing myself by tripping over or being unco. Like, I have the longest legs in the world. I lose control of them more often than not. It's literally what I am known for. And I was so embarrassed by this fact and terrified of doing anything like that when I was younger. But now, honestly, I think it's so fucking funny. And people don't even blink an eyelid. If you're in my life and you walk around with me constantly, like often, if I trip over, it's almost like a nothing event. Like, it's just like, okay, cool, like she's just tripped, whatever. Like, people don't even recognize it. And if I do anything that involves any kind of uncoordinated movements, you best believe I am laughing harder than anybody else. I think it's so funny. And, you know, I'm the funniest person I've ever met. Jokes, but I'm up there. So my next tool and tip that I am going to give you to overcome this fear is to challenge your negative thoughts. Pay attention to negative thoughts and self-talk. As I said in a reel that I created a couple of days ago, you are going to talk to yourself more than anybody else is ever going to talk to you. So if you've got, say, 80% of your time where you're stuck in your own inner monologue or dialogue, I talk back to myself too, so I'm going to call it a dialogue, right? And these challenging negative thoughts come up in your brain. You can't do this, you're not good enough, blah, 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 whatever, right? Then you've got the other 20%. I think I said 80% to start with, so I'll go 20%, whatever equals 100. You've got of people coming into your life saying, you're killing it, like, yes, queen, go get it, whatever, right? The weight on that is obviously incredibly out of balance. So obviously the negative is going to win because you're not counteracting the negative with the positive. And even if it's 50-50, honestly, it's still not good enough. You need to be telling yourself all of the positive things and then reframing the negative thoughts and question their validity. Like, where the fuck did they even come from? Once I started questioning why I thought the way that I did, like, it literally unlocked a whole heap of things for me, because I thought that I had worked on my bullshit. I thought I had worked on all the stories. I had thought I had worked on all the patterns, all the limiting beliefs, all that sort of stuff. And it wasn't until I stopped myself thinking, and I'm like, wait, why do I think that way? What about that is remotely even true? What the fuck am I even talking about? Like, just because your thoughts come through does not mean they're true. Do not believe everything you think. Actually, believe probably nothing of what you think, unless it's positive. Do not think negatively of yourself, because it's like a big fat snowball, spiral, whatever you want to call it. But replace the self-critical thoughts with more positive and empowering affirmations. Affirmations are so powerful. So if you start to hear the inner voice being like, you can't do this, you'd be like, okay, well, first of all, why? Why can I not do this? I guarantee you the reasons why your subconscious is going to throw at you. It's going to be like, oh, remember that time when you tried to do this in school, like you put your hand up and answered the question and you got it wrong and everyone laughed at you? That's what's going to happen if you try and do something, right? Like, it's literally will look for all of the, you know, past scenarios, past whatever, to throw up in your mind right now and be like, this is why, okay? And it's in the past. It's not going to happen again, okay? Okay, my next point around ways in which you can embrace your self-confidence is setting realistic expectations. So you can't actually control other people's opinions or their perceptions of you, right? So if you're setting realistic expectations for yourself and loving yourself, understand that not everyone will approve of or agree with your choices, and that is perfectly okay. In fact, that's amazing. Okay, because you're going to go out there, you've got this newfound confidence, you're going to go out there and smash it in your life, and you're going to have people that are going to be like, oh, okay, interesting, she's doing something different. This is not the version of her I have in my head. I'm going to make a comment about it. I'm going to make a whatever about it. Okay, who cares? Other people's opinions of you are none of your business. Worry about yourself, worry about what you're doing. And also, if this continuously is a big thing for you, maybe have a bit of a think to yourself, where are you judging other people? Where are you partaking in that particular behavior that you're so concerned about other people doing it to you? Because I can guarantee it'll be like one of maybe 3 scenarios, right? You go out there, you do something new. People are going to be like, hell yes, go girl, you do your thing. Number 2, they're not going to say anything because they're really not that bothered. And then number 3, they may come to you with advice or their opinions on why it might be a little bit scary for you because that's their own fears that they're placing onto you. Okay? It's none of your business what they think. We don't care. Okay, my next tip in what you need to do to overcome the fear of judgment is focus on personal growth. Shift your focus from seeking external validation to prioritizing personal growth. Okay, set goals that align with your values, with your interests, and measure your success based on your progress rather than external opinions. Now, we all want to be told we're doing a good job. We can't fucking help it. It's in our nature, okay? Whether you admit it or not. However, what you can do is not base what you're achieving on what somebody else's comments are about it, right? Unless they're cheering you on, saying like I said before, go get it, you've got this, you're going to smash it, whatever. You need to focus on success and what that means in your terms. Okay, everyone has their own different measuring stick when it comes to success. Okay, success to some people is like a fucking shed in the middle of a 20-acre property with some animals and whatever. I'm just covering my dad right now. I feel like a shed in the car and a shed bigger than, you know, his house that he lives in. Success to somebody else is a big fuck off mansion with a shit ton of investment properties and a private jet and all of those things, right? So if you are seeking external validation all the time and it's, you know, you're basing what your version of success is based off of what somebody else's is, expecting somebody's level of success who is, you know, looking for the biggest things in life, who are going after, you know, those mansions, those private jets, and you're looking like, you know what, I just kind of want to like, you know, do a 10K month in my business. You can't look to them and be like, please tell me I'm doing a good job, right? When they're just on another level. Get to their fucking level and then expect the validation from them, okay? My next tip is to develop a growth mindset. Embrace the challenges and see them as opportunities for growth. And this is something I have become very, very good at. So instead of blaming my situation on everybody else, I really acknowledge that I had everything to do with my current situation and I have everything to learn from my current situation. If you adopt a growth mindset by viewing your failures and setbacks, and again, I use the term failures loosely, like quote unquote failures and setbacks as learning experiences rather than confirmation of your inadequacy, like it's going to change the fucking game for you. If you're not afraid of failure, mate, you are unstoppable. Like literally nothing can stop you because you are afraid of nothing. Okay. And remember that failures are literally the opportunity for us to learn and to grow. How boring would your life be if you just kind of like went through and didn't achieve anything, didn't do anything, and then like, okay, cool, got to the end, like, what the fuck's the point of that? Go big, okay? Learn your lessons along the way and grow from those lessons. Use them as opportunities to grow and just do not fear them. Embrace them, right? Fail hard, fail fast. That's what I like to say because I like to get it over and done with, learn the good stuff, and then take the good stuff and move forward. Now, my next tip is to practice self-expression. Now, this is a big one. And this is something that I think that, you know, you guys are probably going to listen to, and depending on where you're at in your personal development journey, the first 5, you're going to be like, no problems, Megs, we've got this. I can do all of this. Okay. Practicing self-expression is another one because this is where it requires you to get up on that fucking stage and sing to the assembly. If that's the example I'm going with, which apparently it is. So gradually exposing yourself to situations where you can express your authentic self. Share your thoughts, your ideas, and your feelings with trusted friends or in environments where you feel safe. Okay, because once you do it in environments where you feel super safe, and the more you practice it, and then the more you practice self-expression in general, it becomes more comfortable and you are able to map that across into any situation. Because there literally is no difference. Whether you're, you know, having a conversation with somebody and disagreeing with points in a conversation to a group of 4 people that you know really well, or you do it to a group of 4 people that you don't fucking know at all. It's the same thing. you know, it's like, let's use public speaking for an example. If you are comfortable talking about a subject that you are so passionate about, something that you care so deeply about, and something that you are a fucking subject matter expert in to your friends and family, it is no different to saying the same thing to complete strangers. Get up on that stage, give that speech, be passionate, be excited, talk about all the things, because again, right, they're your family and friends. They already know all your stuff. Okay. Go talk about it to new people. You have no idea, one, who you're going to, you know, inspire, and two, who else you're going to meet and what new friendships you're going to form because you're absolutely obsessed with the same thing as somebody else. Okay. Now, my next tip is to cultivate a supportive network. Now, again, I preach this from the fucking hills every single time I talk because it is so critical that you surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. Okay, build the network of friends, of family, and mentors who appreciate you for who you are and can provide you with constructive feedback instead of just judgment. Okay, you can view it as judgment, you can view it as, you know, criticism, whatever. Okay, but more often than not, if you're surrounding yourself with the right people, it's literally constructive feedback. And that is something I have had to get very good at being able to receive, especially with the client base that I do. Okay, I do things a certain way in their business in terms of what I'm doing with their marketing. They have a different opinion. We meet in the middle and it's either going to work or it's not. And the feedback from that is invaluable. You do not learn because you have so many blind spots. Okay, you can be thinking that you're showing up in a certain way, and maybe, you know, you just have a different version, or you have blinders on when it comes to certain behaviors of yours that you do that you don't want to do. Unless you have somebody there to point them out for you, how the fuck are you ever going to know? Like, it's amazing that you have these people in your life that are happy to reflect this back to you and be like, you know what, when you do this, you know, X happens or whatever. So it's amazing to have those people, and learn to lean on people for things like that as well. Seek out the feedback. All right. It's the hardest thing to do, but it is the most rewarding. And it is also the quickest way you're going to be able to change, just utilizing people around you. Okay. My next tip is to learn from positive role models. Identify and learn from individuals who have faced criticism or judgment, but have remained completely true to themselves. And recognize that even successful people have experienced setbacks and negative opinions. I can literally think, just in the celebrity world, of a bunch of people right now that have absolutely been smacked with criticism or with judgment, but literally continue on about their lives. For some reason, Will Smith is coming into my mind when he got up on stage and he backhanded fucking Chris Rock, was it? Whichever comedian was up there. He copped it for that, absolutely, and rightly so. You shouldn't, you know, act that way. But he copped it, but he still kept on going. Okay. If you mess up in anything that you're doing, just own it and then just move on. And this is so powerful when we do things like this. And that's like always, the comeback is better than the setback. It's bigger than the setback. The comeback is bigger than the setback. Always. Because you're coming back stronger with significantly more experience under your belt and with a significantly stronger mindset. Okay. And this is where the good stuff comes in. And this is where you can implement all the things that you've learned, so you don't stop at the same marker point, that you push that boundary, that you keep going further than you ever have before, because you're coming at it with experience. Powerful, right? Okay. My next tip is mindfulness and present moment awareness. And again, I'll preach this every bloody day of the week. So practice mindfulness techniques to stay present and avoid getting caught up in the hypothetical future scenarios. So by focusing on the present moment, you can reduce anxiety about potential judgment, because you're reducing your anxiety about that future thing that may not even fucking happen. So by practicing mindfulness and present moment awareness, right, you're not even worried about the future, because the future doesn't exist. All that exists is right now. And if you do catch yourself being worried about the future, all you need to do is flip that on its head. And instead of being like, oh my God, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like, oh my God, this is going to happen. What's the best thing that could happen? What is the best outcome ever from that? And what would that be? And sit in gratitude for that. So, for example, if you are coming into a big meeting, you've prepared for it, you've got your preso down, you're absolutely shitting bricks because it's in front of a bunch of executives, right? All you can do is think about it. From the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed, it's consuming you, and it's still a fucking week away. What you can do is in your mind. Visualize that meeting going fucking beyond amazingly, right? The best the meeting could have gone, the best ever, okay? Getting praised for how well it went, you know, getting accolades and recognition and all of that for how amazingly you did in front of the exec team, for example, all right? Sit in that feeling, and I guarantee you, one, the universe is going to do some epic shit to make that happen, and two, it's almost going to make you excited to think about it instead of worrying about it, because your brain is going to be hitting you with all these feel good, you know, feels that you're going to not be anxious about it at all. It's just going to be completely replaced by excitement. Okay, my last tip is to seek professional support. Okay, so if the fear of judgment and your inability to be able to showcase your complete amazingness impacts your well-being, I would consider a coach or a mindset mentor or something like that. There are so many coaches and mindset mentors, and like this is why I work with my mentor. Like I guess I've come a long way in terms of my confidence and my ability to be able to love all of my funniness and my uniqueness. Okay, but there's always work to be done. And your coaches have a way of being able to mirror things to you so that you are able to get it, you're able to learn, you're able to understand and move on. Okay, why do I do the things that I do? Okay, well, this is what we notice X, Y, Z. All right. They are just pivotal in being able to move forward. So I highly recommend getting a mindset mentor, or even if you're looking for business coaching, look for a business coach. There are a dime a dozen these days. Okay, just make sure it's a good one. That's my only advice there. So remember, overcoming the fear of judgment is a very personal journey, and progress may take time. So you just need to be patient with yourself and celebrate the small victories along the way. So not only being patient, but being compassionate as fuck with yourself, saying lots of nice things to yourself, and loving yourself for how awesome you are, right? Embrace your weirdness. Like, you know, we're done of the days of Instagram with the perfectly curated feed and like the boring vanilla life. Mate, we all got shit we're going through. Embrace it, put it out there, connect with people about it, like go nuts. So I'm going to stop rambling on now. I thought this was going to be a short and sharp one, but as per Meg's style, I have gotten very excited and I have put more sauce in this, but I hope that it is helpful, and I love you so much, and I will see you in the next episode.